What's going on, guys? My name is Joan Polanco, and I am the proud owner of the garage. I started reselling January last year. I would kind of collect jerseys and stuff like that, but video games wasn't really something I'd kind of like hunt for to resell. But I just kind of picked up on it. January, my wife and I, we started watching videos, watching Phoenix resell, watching Retro Rig, people like that would resell, and we just learned a lot from them when it came to reselling video games, learning about the retro games, what games were worth money, the difference between an N64 game that was a not for resale compared to a regular copy, just things like that, like little details about certain games and stuff that added value to it. We kind of just kept learning and just pushing, doing eBay. We mainly did eBay for the first half of the year, and then it jumped to us selling at the flea market. We started kind of learning a new market, a new way to sell video games aside from eBay, because with eBay it was $15 and up, all the prices. Nothing was under $15. It wasn't worth it at that price. Anything under $15 was just a waste of time for eBay. But now we were picking up titles like San Andreas, Call of Duties, Black Ops 2, because those are good titles locally that would sell. We kind of started picking up like the fact that, because here where I'm from in Brownsville, that's where we're located, the garage, that's the name of the store, that's where we're located. There's no video game stores. There was one, and they closed down I think 2 weeks before we opened up, which is kind of crazy. But other than that, I mean, the video game store here wasn't really known like that. So normally people from here, when they want a video game, they go to GameStop, because that's the main place to go get games, or Walmart or Target, because they sell games there. But they don't sell 360 games, they don't sell PS2 games, they don't sell older gen games. So people just kind of didn't know where to go to get them, especially here in Brownsville. In McAllen, which is about an hour away from where I'm from, an hour away from here, there's video game stores like crazy. Like, there's so many. So we ended up starting to sell at the flea market over there in the McAllen Alamo area, and it went really well. We were selling consistently every weekend, a good amount, and it was fun. It was awesome. I got comfortable with the customer service, talking to people, learning how to sell to people like face to face, aside from just listing on eBay and just sitting on it waiting for people to make offers, things of that nature. But it pretty much got down to me learning how to really sell, face to face, person to person, which is awesome, which is a big thing that I needed to learn, because I was not used to that. I didn't know that. My only jobs were construction type jobs, working at a refinery or just stuff like that. So I wasn't really, customer service kind of thing. That was out of my touch, out of my nature. So doing this, selling at the flea market was awesome for me. I grew a lot, I learned a lot, and I just got comfortable with negotiating, with learning, okay, I can offer, like, if they offer me this, kind of be firm on my prices, or if it's something that we have for a while, I just kind of picked up on, okay, what can I make deals on, what can't I make deals on, and I just got a good flow with it, and then just kept doing it, and my wife and I, we kind of started thinking, let's open up a store. We should open up a video game store. And at the time, we were what's it called, we were just kind of saying, are we ready, are we not? Those, like, for me especially, those insecure doubts of, do I know enough to open up a store, do I know what I'm doing? And it just got to the point where I was just unsure, and like, the excuse I had was, let me just keep getting inventory. Like, that's kind of like what I wanted to do, so, which is a good thing, actually. So for the next year, we were just pushing, getting more inventory, learning about what we're selling, learning about our product. And we started implementing clothing, jerseys and clothing, like sports clothing was my thing. And then it slowly got to the point where I started doing vintage shirts, vintage jackets, vintage crew necks, mainly sports, because like I said, I love sports. So we started putting bulk buying like crazy. We'd spend like $200-300 a weekend hunting for that kind of clothing, jerseys and vintage crew necks, vintage t-shirts, like I said. But it was mainly themed around sports. So, and then my wife and I had an idea that when we opened the store, we would have a rack specifically for $5 t-shirts. And it would be graphic t-shirts, like and like let's say NBA final t-shirts, NFL Super Bowl t-shirts, NFL team t-shirts, you know, just like basic t-shirts that like with cool graphics on it, that you would normally find for like 15-20 bucks brand new at Walmart, but we're selling it for $5 because at the price we get them for, we can't afford to sell it at $5 and, you know, make a good profit on it. And those have been our biggest sellers since we opened. So we kind of had that idea, so we started bulk buying that kind of clothing as well. So every weekend we're dropping $200-300 on just clothing, and we just kind of throw it in storage and just forget about it. So we were just doing that. On top of that, we kept flipping video games, and the video games was doing awesome. We were making a good amount of money a weekend at the flea market. On top of that, pushing eBay as well. And we had our little instances where we would stop eBay because we were focused on the flea market, or we'd stop maybe for a week or two at the flea market and just try to push eBay. It was just kind of hard for us to find a balance, but it was something we were working on. And it just got to the point where you know, we kind of got a groove, and then we had some stuff in our personal lives that we started handling, like we're moving and stuff like that. So that kind of halted eBay every now and then. And then also the flea market, we were trying to keep consistently going. And then there was a point at the flea market where it got kind of dry. People weren't really going anymore. We weren't really selling as much. So it was just kind of like, what's going on, you know? And then I had to balance what was I going to keep for the store, because we had stuff like Silent Hills, Scarface, we had boxed games, we had boxed consoles, we had rare consoles, rare games like Pikachu and 64s. I remember I had like 4 at one time. I just had 4 consoles like that just stacked up, and I still have a controller up there, up here in that basket right there, that I just have there, that I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know if it works or not, I don't remember, but I would like stockpile and stuff like that, and it would just be there. And because I was like, I want it for the store, I wanted to look cool in the store, I wanted to look, you know, just display all the rare stuff that we have, that we've come across. But it got to the point where like, we need money, you know, this is what we do for a living, this is how we make make money, this is how we pay our bills. So it got to a point where like, you know what, like I'm just holding this back by doing this. So I started selling everything, and the way I looked at it was, if I sell this item full price, I'll find it again for cheaper, you know, because I find everything with a good deal so I can resell. So I would just, selling it would just give me the opportunity to go out and hunt for more. So that's the way I kind of see it. So that's why I kind of push stuff all the time, like posting on eBay, because eBay's our bread and butter. That's what we mainly do. So it got to that point where we started kind of just moving. We were getting good cash flow. We're you know, we're turning stuff over real quick. We'd get some games, we sell them real quick. We'd post on Facebook Marketplace. We're always promoting it on Instagram. We started an Instagram as well, and we kind of started getting a little following. We made business cards, passed them out at the flea market, and we just kept getting better and better with it. And it got to the point where a few months ago, I was telling my wife, like, hey, like, let's do it, and she was like, I'm down, let's do it, let's open up a store. But we still like didn't know like the process of it. We had to find a location. Right now, I mean, everything's going up in price, everything's becoming more expensive, rent's more expensive, you know. For us to lease a building or rent a spot would be expensive. So we're trying to figure it out, what we can do, how we can make it work. So we just kept doing the flea market. And there was this one location we saw that we really liked that had a lot of issues with it, but we had seen it before with one of my wife's friends, because she was going to rent that spot out to start like a boutique, I guess. So she had shown it to us, but I don't know what happened. She ended up not going through with it after all. So we ended up calling a year later, and it was available, which was a few months ago, because she was going to rent it. My wife's friend was going to rent it out last year. So a few months ago, which is kind of like a year later, we saw it for rent. So we called, we went to go look at it. It needed a lot of work done. It was a good size, and it was I really liked it. I loved it, you know. And I think it was more just me being excited to just find a location already. The rent wasn't bad, but the thing is, the owners, they were kind of like, oh, go talk to the city, they're giving out grants, I don't know what. So I think someone's pulling up. they're giving out grants, so you guys should go talk to them. They're kind of just pushing us away to go like talk to, because they're saying that they're giving out hundreds of thousands of dollars of grants to small businesses, new up and coming businesses. So we're like, all right. So we went, like, I think we scheduled an appointment. A week later, we went to go talk to them. They told us they're not giving out any grants anymore. So we're just like kind of all over the place at the time. And then we went, and then I drove through there again, and it was already taken. When I saw that it was taken, that day, my buddy had actually hit me up like, hey, let's go meet up with, so my buddy Justin, I was with him, and he was like, let's go meet up with Mike, which is another buddy of mine that sells, he sells shirts, but we sell games to him. And my buddy Justin was like, yo, let's pull up with Mike. He wants to buy some games. And I always go with Mike, so I know where he lived. But Justin didn't know, so I tagged along with him, and I showed him how to get there. And we drove by the location we were looking at, and it was taken. That's when I saw it, so I was pretty bummed out. And then I told him, oh, okay, like whatever. So we just kept going to a plaza where we always meet my buddy. Well, we always meet Mike, right? That's usually where I go, and like he meets us there, whatever. And as we're parking, we park at a plaza, and that's always where we meet. And as we're parking, I look up because I was texting my wife like, hey, like it's taken, like, but it doesn't matter. We'll find something that fits, like it wasn't meant for us, right? And it was crazy because as I finished texting, I look up, and that's when we're parking, and I see for rent in a plaza. So I get down, and I go, and I look inside, and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. I call my wife, send her pictures. I go home, pick up my wife. We go back to the location. I call the guy, and I'm like, hey, like, no, I don't know if I called. No, I called him, and I was like, is this still available? He gave us the rent. He gave us the square footage. He says he, like, how he does the lease. I don't know what. Like, we got all the info. He's like, I can show it to you on Monday. It was Saturday, by the way, when we saw it. When I first saw it. I called him. He said we can meet Monday. So I'm like, all right. So then I end up going with my wife. We're there at the store looking at it on Saturday. And my wife's like, I love it. Like, it's awesome. Like, let's do it. And I'm like, let's do it. So Sunday comes around. We go to the flea market again to sell. And I message the guy because I'm like, my wife's like, hey, text him so he knows that we want it. Because it was a really good price, good location. It was in downtown. Someone's going to take it if we don't. So I messaged him again. I'm like, hey, I'm really, really interested. Like, I'm excited to go see it tomorrow. Just wanted to let you know and confirm our meeting on Monday. Because we're going to meet like at 9 in the morning. And he said, yes, awesome. I'll see you there. So we head there in the morning. On Monday morning, we get there. We see it, and we're talking. They're asking us what we're doing. We're just kind of like have a little bit of conversation. And they're like, yeah, pues, if you want it, take it, because a lot of people are calling about it. And my wife was like, yeah, we're taking it. So from Saturday to Monday, like that, we had a store. We had a location. We got paid, got the keys, started scheduling the inspections with the fire marshal for the occupancy, all this stuff. Like, we were just like already doing everything. All of a sudden, we're getting lights on, everything. It took us about a week, pretty much. But I mean, we had to start looking for, first we had to clean, obviously, sweep, mop, all that stuff. We painted the front area. We got someone to paint the outside. We ordered a sign. We got a template for the door. Like, we did a bunch of stuff, and then like within like 2 or 3 weeks to get ready to open, we started bringing our inventory. We were pricing, washing, cleaning, testing everything, getting ready for opening day. It was awesome. It was fun. It was a crazy experience because we started to learn. We were learning, oh, this is how we open up a store. This is what we need to do. This is who we need to see. And growing up, I was really involved in school with sports and chess and all these like extracurricular activities that I didn't really have time. Like, I'd never had like time, like free time outside of school and sports and band and all this stuff that I was in. So I never really like went out to like downtown area, this and that. Like, I had never been in downtown. Well, I hadn't been as often as I should have been to downtown before, like growing up. So I was really unfamiliar with it. I didn't really know about it. The only big thing I know about downtown, like growing up, like especially like the last few years, is that Elon Musk had moved to Brownsville, or the Boca Chica area, which is pretty much here in Brownsville, and he was giving grants to downtown. Like, that's all I knew. So he was giving money to downtown for businesses to help to, like, fix and build up downtown and all that stuff. So that's all I knew about downtown. I would never come here. I didn't even like driving here because the one way was a lot of stuff. It was confusing, like the one way, because I was never here. But then doing this, opening the store, I mean, I started learning downtown. I know, you know, where to go to get, you know, I know where the fire marshal is now. Like all this little stuff that I should know, I know now, which is exciting. It's awesome. I love it. You know, I love the experience of it. My wife and I, we're having so much fun with it. Looking up how, looking into getting more hangers, looking for clothing racks, looking for shelves for the games, for a display case, all this stuff. Like it was just a process, but it was all fun. We were building up our store, which was exciting. It took us about 2 to 3 weeks, I think, to like really do everything, or 4 weeks. I'm not really sure the time's table, but yeah, it took us a few weeks, and then we ended up opening up Saturday. It's the 17th, if I remember correctly, September 17th, Saturday, 12 to 7. That was our first opening day. It went awesome. People pulled up. We gave away a jersey. I think we gave away a Michael Jordan champion jersey with the Washington Wizards. Really nice. It was a big size too, so we had people sign in, whatever, when they got to the store. You didn't have to purchase anything, no purchase necessary. You just pull up, say hi, whatever, just sign your name, number, and we enter you into the wheel. We did the wheel, we went live with it. It was pretty fast. I just went live real quick, did it, and congratulations, whatever. Hit him up, he pulled up. Ended up giving it away. It was awesome. It was fun Saturday, and then we've been going at it ever since. It's been almost a month, I think. I think this Saturday's gonna be 4 weeks officially since we've opened, which is crazy because it's been going so well, you know. And like I said, I mean, this store is, I don't know if I mentioned it, this store is video games, consoles. We have figures, and we have sports clothing, vintage clothing, jerseys, stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of like all around what I'm into. I love games, I love clothing, I love sports, you know, all this stuff. Like, kind of just mesh it all together, and it's buy sell trade. So people can bring us clothing, people can bring us consoles, games, you know. And like right now, consoles is not something we're taking in, but games we're taking all the time. I stopped this video real quick so a buddy of mine pulled up and he sold us some stuff, which is pretty cool. But like I said, I mean, it's been awesome. It's been an experience. It's been fun. It's been challenging, but that's all part of, you know, opening a store, running a store, you know, being owners. And me and my wife, we love it. I'm really happy with like how everything's turned out so far, with how we're doing things. There's still room for improvement, like always, but it's been fun. It's been exciting. I just want to keep doing this, you know, keep pushing the store out. Eventually, you know, who sees what lies ahead of us, you know, the next few years. But right now, the focus is money, opening the building up the store, promoting the store. You know, I have a lot of goals, a lot of tasks, I guess, a lot of a to-do list of things I need to do in the next month that I need to keep pushing. But it's exciting, it's fun, you know, opening up a store, buy sell trade store, especially the kind of store we have, because there's nothing like this here in Brownsville, which is exciting for me. Hopefully this video can kind of reach the community, you know, so people can kind of see, hey, this is a store here in Brownsville, here in the valley, here in the Rio Grande Valley. It's a store available, open to anybody, you know. I mean, I want to kind of promote this and offer this kind of experience that we don't normally have here, because like I said, there's no video game store here. There's no what's it called, vintage store, clothing store. There's nothing like this here. I mean, here in downtown there's a bunch of thrifts, right? There's a bunch of thrifts, boutiques, stuff like that, but everything I have here is quality. Everything's handpicked. I've personally looked through through a rack and picked out specific things that I'm like, this is good for the store, this is good for the store, you know. You don't see random t-shirts and stuff like that. It's mainly sports. We're starting to do wrestling t-shirts. We're doing sports. We're starting to do wrestling. We're bringing in concert t-shirts, you know, vintage sports, crew necks, vintage crew necks. It's all like quality brands. That's usually what I bring in. And same thing with the games. We have a lot of common titles that you don't like. They're not common, not as in you see them all the time, but common as in like price wise. They're not, you know, anything too expensive, but they're games that, like San Andreas, you don't find them anywhere. You know, you have to find them online, or they don't sell them at GameStop. You can't, you know, they don't sell them at Walmart. Like I have games that are like really good nostalgic games that people come and see, and they're like, oh, I remember this game. You know, I have a lot of people that are into the clothing, that are part of the vintage clothing community, that they resell clothing. They that's all they do. And then they come into the store and then they see the games and they're like, oh, I remember this, I remember that. And all of a sudden they're buying a whole console. they're buying games. They're looking into getting their own console. They want games, whatever, or they're bringing in stuff because they want to trade for a console, for something they used to own, which excites me. I love seeing that excitement from people, and that, you know, just seeing them remember when they were little and they were playing these games and consoles, and, you know, just kind of going down memory lane, which is something that I want to offer, you know, here, because you don't find. I have an NES right now. I have an N64, Super Nintendo, and those are older consoles. Like, I didn't grow up playing those. Those are way older than I am. You know, I was born in the year 2000, so that stuff I didn't know what it was until I started reselling. But I know there's a lot of people here that, you know, they see that, you know, it hits a memory, it hits a nerve, where it's like, oh, I grew up with that. You know, I used to play that growing up with my brothers, with my sister, you know, like, so it's just something I want to offer here in Brownsville that, like I said, it's not offered here. You know, nobody has this, so it's exciting for me. It's exciting for my wife, you know, to kind of build this up, and, you know, just kind of see where it takes us, you know, kind of see the journey of it. And, you know, it's just exciting. It's fun. Like I said, I know I said it several times, but I really do enjoy this. It's a blessing, you know, that God has given us, you know, the knowledge that we have, you know, the time we have, the experiences that He's put us through it's all worth it. You know, there's been a lot of, like, I guess, negative experiences that we have where we mess up, you know, because there's fake games, there's fake consoles, you know, that we don't even know about, but that's all part of it. That's all part of learning, and because we went through that, now we know about it, which is a blessing. You know, glory to God. None of this happens without Him, and we're extremely grateful, extremely blessed, extremely thankful for everything that's kind of built up to this point, and we're just excited to see where we go with this. Just kind of wanted to explain what I have here, what my wife and I have opened up here, and, you know, it's been awesome. Thank you for watching, guys.